Good day, folks. Today we're going to take a closer look at the Vimble C by FeiyuTech. This is a low-cost gimbal that works with both smartphones and action cameras such as your GoPro. So we'll just take a quick look at all what comes in the package, and then we'll kind of go over all the details and do some test shoots with it. We have our documentation, warranty card, instructions. Now we have these little foam pads, and these are what we're going to be using to mount the GoPro. We have a micro USB cable, the gimbal itself. Now first impressions when you take it out of the box, it's quite different than any gimbal that I've used before. It's very, very large. The handle is actually quite large. It does feel comfortable to hold. There's no problem there. But yeah, it is quite different than some of the other FeiyuTech gimbals. Now, and it's not really fair to compare this to, say, the G5 because there is quite a price difference. You know, it's a totally different category of gimbal. You can pick these up starting for about $120 compared to the G5, which is quite a bit more. As for the build quality, it's not bad. The handle is just plastic. Hollow plastic, it feels like. It's very light, which is a good thing. The gimbal unit, the motor enclosures, and the arms here are all aluminum. So, you know, that part's okay. Even the housing for the smartphone or action camera is aluminum as well. I was really curious about this gimbal, like how well does a $120 gimbal perform? This might be a good option for a lot of people because of the price. You know, gimbals are expensive, and, you know, even myself, I hate shelling out the money to pay for some of them. So this one is definitely much more affordable. And, you know, the bonus part is that you can use this both with your smartphone and with your GoPro. So let's just do a quick demonstration here with my smartphone. With this gimbal, it's just works on like a spring system. You just mount the phone in there like that. Make sure it's flush up against the motor there. And like some of the other smartphone gimbals, it has a little dial here, and this is how we balance it. So we're just going to slide this little arm back and forth until basically it's balanced roughly. So there, that looks pretty good. And then we'll just tighten it back up. Now before we get too far here, I'll kind of go over the buttons. This is your power button. It also acts as a Bluetooth button when you're using the FeiyuTech app, so you can shoot photos or videos with it. When it's powered on, if you press it once, it'll take a photo. If you do a long press, it'll start video recording. On the side here, we have the USB port, micro USB for charging. On the back here, we have a multi-purpose button. You can go side to side for zooming when using the FeiyuTech app, and it's also a mode button just by pressing on it. On the bottom here, we have a 1/4-inch tripod thread, and that's basically it. Oh yeah, and on the front here, we have a joystick, side to side, up and down. So to power on the unit, we just hold and press the power button there, and it will come on. When you first power it on, like most gimbals, it's on lock mode. That means the camera's always going to be facing forward. You can go side to side, but forward's always locked. Now to change that, if you want to go into follow mode, you just press the button at the back once, the little button back there, and then it goes into follow mode. So you can angle the camera up and down, side to side. And of course, it's got the joystick, so you can angle things how you need. I don't really use the joysticks myself a lot. The Karma grip that I use quite a bit doesn't have one. And, you know, I'm fine without it. Usually the tilt and follow modes usually do fine for me. Now, one thing that that FeiyuTech has done with the Vimble C is that they've made it very versatile by adding these little foam pieces in the package, and they just slide over these little lips here, just like so, and that allows you to attach smaller devices such as GoPros, other action cameras, maybe small point and shoot cameras, and it's as simple as they just fit in there like so, and there we go. Now, one thing when you do have a GoPro mounted, it does somewhat cover the record button there, but that's okay. You can still press it. There's enough room there that you can still press it. Plus, you can use the voice activation feature. You can just tell it to start recording and it will. Now, on the back here, there is still enough space there that you can get a feel of what you're filming. So it's not completely covered, so you can kind of still line up your shot through that little opening there. So that's an added bonus. Now, one thing to keep in mind with your GoPro is that you do have to hold it backwards. So the camera's going to be facing that way, and your joystick and all that's going to be out front. So now let's take it out, and we'll see what kind of footage we can shoot with it. Now I'll pick up the pace a bit, introduce some more vibrations. Okay, so now I have the GoPro Hero 6 mounted in the FeiyuTech Vimble C, and we'll just see how well it does at stabilizing the footage. It's kind of a really dull day today, not much sun, but at least it's not raining. So I'll let you be the judge of motor noise. I get asked all the time if a gimbal has a lot of motor noise, and what I find to be a lot or excessive or acceptable, the next person may not. So best just to judge for yourself. This video you can just watch and listen for yourself and see if you think it has extreme amounts of gimbal noise. Now, the one nice thing about this gimbal is that FeiyuTech does have its own app, and the app can be used with all their gimbals for doing various tasks. So just like any other of the gimbals, we can select the series. So this is the Vimble series, and we're going to go to connect, and there it picks up our gimbal unit there. It does have tracking mode, that's that little icon there. So if you had this mounted on a tripod and you were doing some commentary, say out front, and you move around, the camera will track your face. So that's kind of a nice feature. Now, if you want to make use of the zoom and this button feature, you have to be using the FeiyuTech app. If you're using the stock camera app on iOS, it doesn't work. So you can use the FeiyuTech app. And from there, we can take a photo by pressing the button. And if we long press it, you can see it goes in and starts recording video. It also allows us to zoom by using the button at the back. So that's kind of handy, I guess. And when you're done shooting, to power the unit off, we just long press the power button and it will turn off. So all in all, it's not a bad little gimbal. You know, it's not really fair to compare it to some of the higher end ones, just for the price difference, right? $120, it's not a bad price for what you get. Now, one downfall is that it does not come with a case. It would have been nice if it did include a case, but there are third-party manufacturers that are selling cases for it fairly inexpensively. And for $120 for a gimbal that you can use with both your smartphone and your GoPro, you know, that's not a bad value at all. I'll leave the links down below so you can go and check the product out further. Don't hesitate to ask me any questions down in the comments. If you have any questions about the unit, I'll try and answer them the best I can. Well, folks, that's it for my video. Hopefully, if you're in the market for an inexpensive gimbal, or maybe you've been doing some research on the Vimble C, hopefully you found my video useful. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.